Thank you for tuning in to the I'm Not Emotional podcast. My name is Javier, and a lot of the subject that we discuss on this podcast can fit under the categories of sexually orientated content, suicide, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, drug and alcohol abuse, physical, sexual, and verbal abuse as well. Now, please know if you are feeling suicidal in any kind of way, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 800-273-8255. Again, that number is 800-273-8255. A lot of the material that we discuss on this channel is not suitable for young viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you for tuning in to the I'm Not Emotional podcast. This is Javier, and today I have a very special guest. It's a fellow I met about a week ago, and we kind of hit it off right off the bat, and I knew he would be a good addition to the podcast. So I asked him to come on, and he was more than happy and more than willing. So thank you, Chris, for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could do this. I know this is a bit of an odd request for someone that you just got to know a week ago, right?
It's all good, man. I ain't tripping now, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
It seemed very organic when you asked me. It wasn't weird at all or anything like that.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a financial or not like a financial business opportunity or whatever.
Didn't feel like those spam calls you get.
Yeah.
Was it warranty, extended warranty?
Yeah, dude. Your audio insurance, man. No, it's just sometimes you meet people that kind of fit the idea or the concept of what this is, kind of what I want this to be, and you definitely fit that mold.
Cool. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I'll try to just be as natural and organic as possible, man.
Yeah,
I don't do too many interviews, so I'm trying to branch out and be, a little more comfortable with talking. And I'm mainly more of a kind of private guy, or I just don't speak out too much. I'm kind of just stick to myself kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So even through music, you don't get interview opportunities, anything like that?
I do, but usually, I don't know, I usually kind of push it to someone else, like one of my other band members or something, and our lead singers are usually the ones doing the interviews, or, I play a lot of drums for different bands, so, I'm just a drummer, man, So it's usually our lead singer talking, or even though I still have a lot of input in the band, or most of the times I am running the band, it's I still kind of keep it in the back. I just don't want to be the face of it, I just like to be low key.
Is that the classic drummer mentality?
Not necessarily, but I mean, yeah, kind of. At least the bands that I grew up kind of listening to, or knowing that they were strong leaders in the band, they're still kind of low key in the background,
Yeah.
They're not trying to be in front of the camera or in front of every single interview or anything.
What's some projects you're working on now? You said you're in a couple bands. I know you're in the Capsouls.
Yeah, playing the Capsouls. I think the Capsouls been around for since 2015, I think.
All right.
Around that time. But yeah, we're going strong. We released a few singles, and actually before the pandemic, we had a whole U.S. tour lined up. We had a couple gigs back in some legends, Jamaican legends, so we're looking forward to that. And then the pandemic hit, lockdown hit, so all that got canceled, and a lot of it got postponed, but a lot of it kind of, I don't know,
got ripped from under you.
Yeah, in a way. I didn't.
It
is what it is. Man. Yeah, it is what it is. We just took the opportunity to kind of just focus on our lives. We felt like we were kind of going a little too fast anyway, so me and my wife just kind of focused on our home life, our house, and
got some
our
Vespas.
pups. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're just man, we just took the time to do that. But as of now, things are happening again. So with the Capsouls, we've been getting a lot of people hitting us up trying to play shows, and The only one we've done is punk rock bowling, just because we we didn't want to miss that opportunity, and not to say that the other ones aren't opportunities; they were really good opportunities as well. But I don't know. We're trying not to hit that. Whenever you're playing shows so much, it feels like you're focusing on the next show, and you don't really have time to write.
Oh yeah.
And so now we're just kind of trying to focus on just writing, rather than just playing shows. We're trying to focus on that. So that's what we've been doing. We've been writing with the Capsouls. Aside from the Capsouls, my main gig right now is playing with Jackie Mendez, which is an artist from LA, and she's a reggae soul artist. So she's been pretty active, and she's been writing a lot of tunes, and we've been doing a lot of recording and videos too. She released a few videos during these past couple months.
That's pretty exciting.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's good guys,
yeah.
Dude. So, that's cool.
So we released the latest single we're working on right now. Well, the recording's done. Yeah, with Jackie, it's called Red Flag. That's the single, and then we just released a video for it a month ago or so. So it's out. The video for Red Flag. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
Jackie
I'm on
Mendez,
there.
Dog.
Yeah.
You're in the video too?
Yeah.
That's
cool. Check it out.
That's cool, man.
I mean, I don't do much. I told him not to get me too much, just because. Like I said,
I'm not the interview guy.
I'm a low key guy, man. I like to kind of stay in the background and. But
so when you're doing a lot of like touring and you're doing a lot of gigs, is there a little bit of the magic that kind of gets gone there, when it kind of gets a little desensitized? Like,
what do you mean?
So like I've noticed, like, when I do theater and I do a lot of shows back to back, and I'm like going to multiple different rehearsals for different shows in the same day, I kind of lose like the joy of it. I mean, I'm obviously really enjoying doing it.
Oh,
but
you feel like it's just a repetitive thing?
Yeah, dude, I going to rehearsals all the time. I'm like, and then after a couple weeks, it gets to the point where I'm like, man, dude, I would like to stay home, but I gotta go take care of my business, and it becomes more like a chore. And maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong way, but it's definitely like this thing that just gets hounded down.
Yeah. You know what? I can see that in relation to like rehearsal. Like it felt like I was saying earlier. When you have the big lineup of show like gigs back to back, or let's say like weekends every weekend. You feel like you're working towards that,
right?
And it just kind of feels a little repetitive. But I think the difference is, I mean, I don't know. Do you do theater like locally only? Because that's what I would say a difference is. Like when we play gigs, we're playing at a different spot every night. So it kind of, it doesn't feel like it feels different every night in that sense.
It's always fresh.
It's always, it always feels like we're playing a different crowd. We're always playing a different venue, a different, it's a different feel. And we have, we just make out of it,
That's cool,
and,
man.
And it's fun. I mean, we always have fun. We always, especially, we play out of town a lot. Or I play out of town a lot. I mean, with the Capsules too, we're traveling a lot.
Where's the furthest you've gone?
Furthest? I'm trying to think. I mean, I recently went. I was playing the East Coast. We played this big ska festival called Supernova Ska Fest in Virginia.
Oh no shit.
So yeah, I mean, that was the most recent and the furthest.
Yeah, that's pretty far, man.
So I mean, yeah, it's on the other side, man, from west to east.
On the side of this big rock, dog.
That's what's up, yeah.
So, would you say that music has been your great love?
Yeah, man, it's what's kept me going for sure. Like, I don't know, it's crazy to think that I'm 34 now and I'm still doing it. And it's funny, not to put anyone like on the spot, but like the guitar player I play with Jackie, he's in his mid-40s around there. And he just mentioned that like a couple weeks ago. He was like, man, I can't believe I'm this age and I'm still doing it. He's still going to rehearsals, he's still playing the gig, he still feels it, and I don't know, it's a good, I think more than anything, it's a good hobby, it's a good something to have, just to kind of keep you relaxed, keep you going in life. And yeah, man, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, even the word hobby seems like it doesn't have as much weight
Yeah,
as you dedicate your life to a
yeah,
craft.
for sure, man. I try to see it, you know. Shout out to Wally, by the way. Sorry, I put you on blast, man. But yeah, I mean, I had a professor one time, like a teacher when I first went into college at BC, and he always had his camera, and he would always take pictures everywhere. And I don't know, I was always curious about him, and he was a cool teacher. I talked to him all the time, and he'd take these sick pictures, man. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just asked him one time, like, I was like, do you ever do this as a job? Like, have you ever looked into doing this? Or like do it for weddings, weekend gigs? And he said, nah, man. He said he's gotten offers to get paid and everything. He just declines it, and he just simply does it as a hobby. And the reason for that is, like, he said that he feels like once it starts moving towards a job, it kind of, you lose that passion, or you lose that,
that sense of expression.
yeah, you lose that expression, or like there's something you're looking forward to, like, feels like you're looking towards the money now,
Yeah.
you're and
Like,
I don't know, it just changes it, whereas if you're just doing it as a hobby, doing it for yourself, doing it for,
yeah, it's like trying to monetize love just turns into prostitution.
yeah, for sure. It's like, so I kind of took a lot from that. So I try not to see, this as like a job or like a super strict business or anything like that, I mean, a little of that comes into it, but like, I try my best to just, be humble and just do it as for love of music and the love of playing drums, and,
Yeah, it's like you gotta tell yourself, it's not that I have to, it's that I get to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, just this trip recently, like I said, like going to the East Coast, man. Like, I got to take my wife, and this big festival. We had all access. They fed us every meal, the whole time we were there, and took care of everything. And it's just, it was sick, man. We got to explore a different side of the world, or not even the world, but like the country, that we don't get to be that often. And I don't know, it was just cool, man. I don't know, I just soak it up, and I try to see different outlooks on things. And
that's cool, man.
It's a refresher, it refreshes.
You get to do some traveling, meet some cool people, do some cool things, man.
Yeah, I like to travel. I like to see different things, and like I said, it gives me different, inspirations, and
yeah.
I don't know, it's fun, man.
So in terms of like, so you say that drumming was something that you fell into early as a young man. What drew you to it?
So my dad always played music.
Uh-huh.
He had a guitar, and he used to play in groups too. That before I was born, when we were growing up, he didn't play in like bands or anything like that. But before that, he used to play in bands, and but yeah, growing up, he always had an acoustic guitar. He'd jam a little bit, and then I remember he got another guitar. He had a few guitars, but I remember him jamming with my older brother and teaching him how to play some tunes. And I would just stick around. I wouldn't play or anything. I would just kind of see it. And I don't know, I just thought it was super cool. And then my older brother got into music from that. He joined like the school band and all that, and he started playing drums. And I don't know, I just kind of followed his footsteps. He had a drum set. I remember he got a drum set for Christmas, and he would always jam. He'd teach me some stuff, so I kind of followed him from what he taught me, and then eventually he started hopping on guitar and bass, and we were kind of just jamming together,
That's cool, dude.
So my brother got me into playing drums. He originally played drums. He got me into playing drums, and then he started playing guitar, and then he became a bass player, is what I meant to say. And yeah, so I just stuck to drums. So
that seems so natural, dude. I imagine you being a kid and just like your dad's a musician. You're like, damn, my dad's cool, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, heck yeah.
He
was always into classic rock, and yeah. So that's why, you know, when Eddie Van Halen passed away, you know, like not that long ago, it kind of hit me hard just because I was never like a big, you know, Van Halen fan, but my dad was, you know, so it kind of hit this spot where I was like, man, that's my dad's hero. That's a trip that like my hero has heroes, you know. And it's like, so I felt that, man, and yeah, man. So I owe it to my pops and my brother, and yeah.
That's cool, dude. How's your dad doing now? He's still a big
Yeah,
music fan?
yeah. He's still listens to music. Him and my mom just kind of keep it low key.
Was your
Yeah,
dad
they have.
was your dad a child of the '80s? My dad grew up in the '80s and as well, so
Not per se. He grew up more like the '70s.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he grew up more in like '60s, '70s even. So my dad's an older gentleman.
Sorry, you're saying about your dad and your mom?
No, yeah, they just keep it low key. They have a house on the southwest side of Bakersfield, and they have a big house, and they just keep it low key. They hang out there.
That's cool. So born and raised Bakersfield?
Well, born in Los Angeles area, and then moved here when I was about 10 years old, and yeah, just been here since.
Might as well be, right?
Yeah. A lot of times I kind of say, you know, I'm from Bakersfield, but
dude, Bakersfield's cool, man.
Yeah, Bakersfield's got some cool things, man. It's crazy because I was born in like, you know, Los Angeles area, and then I moved to Bakersfield, and when I started getting into music, I noticed like, you know, I was getting into ska, and all the sick bands were from LA, and like I used to just kind of fantasize and think, you know, man, if I still lived in LA, I could be playing with these guys, you know.
Right.
And yeah, there was like a scene of just like, you know, high school kids my age and all that were playing, you know, in ska bands, and I was never able to get into any ska bands in Bakersfield. No one was really into it, and it was hard to kind of get people into it. So
it probably drove you into it more, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I traveled to LA when I could, you know, to check out bands and meet a couple peeps, and but yeah, and it's funny that now, like, it feels like, you know, just the past couple of years I've been kind of playing with a lot of these cats and a lot of these, you know, musicians that, like, I feel like I kind of grew up with a lot of them I did meet, you know, at a young age, but I feel like, you know, I kind of grew up as they were kind of playing in high school. I was into the same stuff, and you know, tried getting my bands rolling here, but it was a little tough. So sometimes I feel like I still have that LA connection, you know.
Yeah, dude. Why not?
Yeah. I feel like if I was in LA, you know, like I always thought, like if I didn't move to Bakersfield in LA, I'd be playing with these same people. And it's just kind of, it's crazy how it came into a loop, you know.
Yeah.
I left LA, tried starting bands here in high school, and I was, you know, mainly it was pop punk bands and stuff, but like I was just always a ska kid, man. I was always into ska.
Ska's cool, dog.
Yeah,
Ska's the shit, bro.
Yeah, man. So that's
the
kind of my
music
thing,
on the planet,
man. That's kind of my thing, and people know me as, and you know, and it's just, you know, I mean, I love all types of music, but ska hit me early, and you know, I'm into all types of music, all types of ska. You know, I don't try to separate or anything like that, you know. Although it is easier to kind of categorize, but you know,
yeah,
I'm trying to keep my head open to, like, you know, not really being like strict or like a snob to one certain type, you know.
Yeah.
Although I love, you know, I'm really in love with like Jamaican music too, you know. But you know, if it wasn't for the bands, you know, in the '90s that kind of, you know, those are the bands that led me to my love for Jamaican music. So
yeah, well, like Sublime, No Doubt.
Yeah. Those were the bands that were around and big, you know. Yeah, like you said, Sublime. I was a really big Suicide Machines fan. The Hippos, those kind of underground, you know, ska bands that were around.
Yeah, they definitely gave birth to like to the popularity of the genre, dude. Like those big, huge bands from the 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they fucking blew up, man.
Yeah,
It
for
was
sure.
a trip because those. I was watching a documentary and there wasn't really anything out there that was like it.
Yeah.
It was just like hip hop and rock and roll and like grunge and shit. And then the ska stuff just hit the scene, dude. It exploded.
Yeah,
of course,
for sure.
Bob Marley was popular, but it was like bands like Sublime, dude, just tore everything to pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's why I think it's important to kind of, you know, stay humble and keep that in mind, is that, you know, a lot of these bands like Sublime, you know, for example, is like they did get a lot of people like, you know, like me into OG Jamaican stuff. It led me to that, you know. So, and plus Sublime is like, I mean, I'm not a super big like Sublime fan or anything, but they paid ode to like a lot of OG Jamaicans, you know, and you hear it in their music, and you know, through time when you start listening to their tunes and you start figuring out like, wait, this is an old Jamaican song, or they took this beat from that song, or like, you know, or when you listen to Jamaican stuff, you'll be like, isn't that like, didn't Sublime take that, you know? And it's like,
dude,
it's so much, you know, that people don't realize, you know, that, you know, Sublime was influenced by OG Jamaican music, and yeah, man, I mean,
I think it's like I think we can be grateful. I mean, obviously you meet people all the time that don't like popular music, like Sublime, and you go, dude, the reason why all these other bands, this stuff from the 50s and the 60s, has the popularity it has today, is because of stuff like fucking Bradley Noel, dude, and Sublime, man.
Yeah,
and no doubt.
Sure. Oh, for sure, man. No doubt too, man. They're a big one too. That was influenced by, you know, a lot of UK ska and, you know, punk rock and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'd definitely say that Sublime has had a huge influence on my love for music.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Just because it was just like some fucking dudes that were torn up from the ground up, dude, making cool tunes for kids that were a little rebellious and wanted something different.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get how people, you know, how it gets what do you call it? Like when it just gets overplayed or whatever. People feel like it gets overplayed, and like, you know, I try to understand that too, you know, but I'm really just more on the side of, you know, like I feel like bands, and the hard thing too is that a lot of radio stuff is like, you know, produced, you know, or it's kind of, a lot of it is kind of fake, or but there are some bands, you know, like, you know, for example, like No Doubt or even Sublime, where it felt very much natural, you know, and they were kind of just taking their influence and making it their own.
I mean, that's what's great about ska. I think that's what makes ska good, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Sometimes it sounds like it's recorded in a garage, but you can hear the smiles on these dudes' fucking faces when they play. Oh yeah, music,
for sure,
you know?
Man. Especially drums, man. That's what, like, I always tell people, man, like, you know, man, just the drumming in like, even like third wave stuff, 90s ska, like, you know, a lot of these drummers would just kind of just, it wasn't just like a beat, you know, like they'd explore every piece of, like, you know, the drum kit,
out of breath,
and the drum kits were small too. It's not like they had like all these toms and all these cymbals. Like, it was just like, you know, a simple kit, but they just make the like sickest sounds out of it. You know, they mess with the bells, and they do all these like crazy fills, and yeah, the beats weren't just like the same beats. Like, there was a lot of hi-hat play, and you know, that's what I think that was my connection with both drumming and, you know, ska, was the drum, you know, the ska drumming behind it. You know, like albums like Suicide Machines, Destruction by Definition. If you listen to that album, the whole album was just tracked with no click track, no nothing. It was just straight
play.
Yeah, straight play. And you know, the drummer Derek Grant, you know, who plays in Alkaline Trio now, he man, he tore it up, man. He was like one of my bigger drumming influences when I was younger.
Is your heroes?
Yeah, he's one of my heroes for sure. When I was young, man, I used to love listening to him play that album. And there was, you know, aside from that album, there was so many other bands and albums that were just had some sick drumming, man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I honestly think when I like listen a lot more like trash punk or like heavy metal punk or like just like garage punk, I feel like I hear some ska influence in there.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I could talk about this for a long, but a lot of drummers, man, like
The good ones anyway, right?
yeah, a lot of drummers that like are in like metal bands or even like the biggest bands right now or back in the early 2000s, a lot of those drummers and musicians were playing ska. Like they grew up playing, 90s ska or influenced by, bands like Fishbone and stuff. Like,
Yeah, Fishbone.
yeah, you
Heck
talk
yeah,
to all
dude.
these metal guys and they're like, man, Fishbone's at the top of their list.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Fishbone mixed it up though. They didn't stick to just one genre, but a lot of these musicians, they originally started playing, in ska bands, and you know, like people like guys from Avenged Sevenfold, for example.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
the drummer, started out playing, in a ska band, and from that went into Avenged Sevenfold, and I mean, not even just that, but like, I mean, I could go on forever with this, but try to keep it short. But like, a lot of
Good, dog.
a lot of these members, a lot of these guys that used to play in ska bands in the 90s, they're some of the biggest, I don't know if names is the word, but like they're one of the biggest producers and influencers like in popular music today.
They're kind of setting the pace.
Yeah, well they're the people producing records for Lizzo and like big names like that,
No shit.
yeah, John Feldman from Goldfinger, man, he's one of the biggest like producers right now, like doing big radio stuff, that
Oh shit.
that you would have no idea is
It's part of the
guy from
oligopoly,
Goldfinger, yeah. So it's a trip. I always say, man, like ska makes the world go round, man.
Dude.
But a lot of
It's
these,
the truth, man.
yeah, or like guys from like the Hippos, for example, like those guys are big producers now, like producing like Snoop Dogg and stuff, like it's a trip, or even commercials, like the biggest like commercials you see on TV are run by these guys that yeah,
You just got that flavoring from back in the Disney.
yeah, so
Snoop Lion, dog.
Snoop Lion. So yeah, man, but yeah, that was produced by Ariel, man, from so one of my favorite bands growing up was Hippos, and yeah, man,
That's cool, dude.
sick.
So I mean, music's just one of those things that's like really stunning, and I think it's a great connector, dude. And like especially with like theater and movies and stuff, I feel like music is the one medium that draws the most emotion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you ever watch like a show or anything, and then they dub the music out, and then they still have the scene. It just doesn't hit as well.
Music's everywhere, man. You can't avoid it.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
it's like I think it's I honestly think it was the first artistic expression, dude. Just a bunch of cave dudes
Yeah,
with big eyebrows, like beefy eyebrow meat
just
dog.
throwing rocks and
Just kind of dusty, dude. Ashy as fuck. Just like fucking,
yeah,
just
banging.
beating on sticks,
yeah, heck yeah, man.
pulling nose hairs.
Figuring out rhythms and yeah, heck yeah, syncopation and heck yeah.
You're talking about all these ska bands, bro. They're all influenced by the Ooga Booga Brothers.
Yeah.
Cave 9, dog.
Yeah, that'd be sick. But yeah, man. I mean, everyone knows. I try not to bring it up too much. Talk people's ear out with Jamaican music, and then Jamaican influenced music. But that's kind of my love, man, and that's kind of my thing. People know me as and but I mean, I like all types of music, but
Do you like
definitely.
Do you like being boxed as the ska guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. I just don't want to be like, just don't want to be. I just don't want to be like a, what do you call it? Like a broken record about it,
Or
But-
Jeff Jack Russell Terrier,
Yeah.
Theo Fonse? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just don't want to be like super talkative all the time. People get sick of hearing it. But I mean, yeah, people kind of know, especially in high school. A lot of people weren't into that. I grew up in like during high school, it was like the early 2000s. So like
Uh-huh.
pop punk was really big, and like
Hip hop.
even not too much. Yeah, hip hop too. But in high school, it was more what was it that what do they call it, post emo core or
Oh yeah.
you know
Like Three
like that.
Days Grace.
Yeah, that's the stuff
Yeah.
people were in. Just
Papa
pop punk
Roach.
and emo and
Slum 41.
hardcore. Yeah,
But
eventually more into hard. It started kind of drifting towards hardcore and metal eventually too. Like with a lot of my friends in high school, but yeah, a lot of those bands like the pop punk bands, like you said, Sum 41 or like Newfound Glory, which a lot of those bands I love too. Set Your Goals, Sig Band.
yeah, dude.
And then
To this day, I'll be doing shit, and I'll put on some Slum 41, dog. Some 3 Days Grace, dude. Some Everlast, dog.
Yeah, but then a lot of the emo stuff came in to play too. People were really into like the Used and all those bands, and which was cool too. Like I'm very open to a lot of music, so I was very familiar with a lot of that, especially growing up with these people and my friends in high school that were really into that. But I was always the ska kid, man. Like everyone knew, I was always.
You had your fucking Bob Marley T-shirt on.
Yeah, heck yeah. I was always
Like
in
the
the
drumsticks in your
reggae,
back
always
pocket?
in the ska, yeah. And a lot of people, I feel like in high school, I feel like a lot of people really liked. I was really into, I was really into drumming too. I was really active, and a lot of people really liked my drumming. And like I don't know, they were just guys. I mean, from what I heard, a lot of people would kind of put me as like one of the better drummers, like, and
In school?
yeah, in school, and but yeah, man, a lot of that was influenced by like the bands that I was listening to, man, like a lot of the ska bands, that
Sounds like
it wasn't just the same beat, like I said, it was a lot of it had a lot of, the drumming was really used. The drum set was really used, and a lot of hi-hat play, a lot of snare play, a lot of like, it just move around a lot. The drums would talk a lot,
Yeah, and
So
speaking on like songs sounding different, I feel like I was talking to my little brother about it. And I was like, dude, my problem with new hip hop, like the rap stuff, dude, it's all the same. The beats, every song, the beats the same.
Yeah.
I can almost predict it before you put the song on.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, well, this and that. And then I was like showing him some like reggae stuff. And I was like, all right, dude, I'll guarantee you might find one song that kind of sounds like this. But like everything sounds different because they're all getting creative. They're not using the same mold to create their music, dude. They're just kind of having fun with it, dog. It's like if you use the same pan to bake your bread, all the bread's gonna look the same. So it tastes kind of the same.
Yeah.
But you start just like shaping that shit with your hands. Next thing you know, you got a unique fucking loaf of bread, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, there's I think there's one of my friends sent me like a YouTube video, and it was I think it was like every single Wailers / Bob Marley intro ever.
Oh,
the
yeah?
drum intro, yeah. And when you listen to it, it's funny because they're kind of all the same, but they're different, But it's just sick, man. I don't know how to explain it. But you should listen to it, man. It's just drum intros.
Send me the link, dog. I'll check it out.
One intros back to back. It's like crack, and the next one
Dun,
crack,
dun,
crack.
dun. Yeah.
And the next one is crack, crack, and then the next one is crack, crack, crack. And it's just like I don't know, just the variations of it, and like I don't know. I just love the tones of the drums too, man. So
Music's cool, man. I fucking dig it.
Man.
Show me a person that doesn't like music, I'll show you a fucking liar.
It's hard, man. I mean, music's everywhere, man, and it sets the mood for things, and like you said, it's in movies. Imagine movies without music, man. That'd be kind of weird.
Imagine music without movies, dog.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's something that
I mean, as I always said, I meant it backwards, man.
Yeah.
Imagine movies without music. Same thing, man. Imagine music without movies. That's it. So I got my mind twisted right now.
It was something that I was thinking about, like people and their music. Dude, I remember growing up, and I've always been like a fan of like different music because my dad's always been like. I remember driving my dad's little beat up, and it was a beat up. It was a Nissan XE, like '97, dog.
Why did I know you were gonna say Nissan, man?
The
Sick.
Mexicans, dog.
That's what's up.
He would put on. He had a little cassette tape, bro. He put on Four Non Blondes, and I was like, and then you think like people's dads, you know, but my dad's just like. We're like driving down the freeway. My dad's you're jamming the Four Non Blondes in the car. Me and my dad. And it's just like, and then he was a huge Motley Crue fan, White Snake, and it's just like that was for me that was cool music because I've always liked music and I've always been a huge fan of my dad as a kid, so it was like an easy decision. I like that kind of music. And you meet other people, and then just like they only like what's on the radio, dude. Dude, you're missing this whole universe of cool music.
Yeah.
You're only listening to shit that's on the fucking radio, dog.
Yeah, that's a trip. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like some people are just not exposed to it. I feel, like I can say for myself, like I've met some recent people where, they've never really explored or never were really like looked into all these different ones. Like, I have a friend that was really into, a new friend with the past couple of years, but he only knew radio music, and I started kind of, when we became friends, I kind of started showing him more music, and he was really impressed, and he simply didn't know because he wasn't, he never really dug deep or
right.
Never had that connection to, where all this stuff came from. And he was just tripping out. Even the Sublime stuff, I was showing him like, hey, did you know this is an old Jamaican tune, and he'd just flip out. Or like, not even like Sublime stuff, but radio stuff that's like, they take a lot of samples of OG songs. And, yeah, a lot of people don't know that, that it's kind of, songs like, like Fatboy Slim, what's that tune? Funk Soul Brother,
Funk Soul Brother.
Yeah, like that's an old like Northern Soul like backing track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
look
that.
it up.
That's pretty cool.
It's Sliced Tomatoes is what it's called.
Sliced Tomatoes.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's sick.
Well,
stuff like that. A lot of the new songs were taken by old tunes, man. It's just sampling, man. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I remember hearing the stories about back in like the 60s and 70s that they would sample music. The disc jockeys or whatever you call them, the DJs. Yeah, they'd get a crayon and they'd mark the record where the sample was that they wanted to use, so that way they can blend it together and they can put it right there and listen to it and blend it. And then that's where samples came from, and they started like blending samples into music and shit.
Yeah, sick, man.
I mean, that's just I don't know. It's a lot of things in life are worth getting to know, and on an intimate level, I think music's on that list.
Oh, yeah, and it's always cool learning new stuff, man. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like my friend in particular, I'm talking about, he's told me, so many times, man, if it wasn't for you, man, I would have learned like so much new music. Like, I kind of opened his world to so much, more music. And I don't know, I feel like we're all learning, man. Like it's still, I tell him like, man, I'm still learning so much. Like, but he kind of thinks like me as like someone that knows so much about it. Like, I don't even feel that way at all. Like, I feel like, there's these people that know so much more that I'm always like trying to learn from, or, these like crazy, like big record collectors, that I'm always learning so much more from.
Right on, man. It's always interesting when you learn about something and you're like, dude, I know everything about this. I know all this shit. And then you get like fucking slapped in the face with reality.
Yeah, no, for
sure,
like, man.
Holy shit, dude. I had no idea how much I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I try my best. That's what I'm saying. Like, I try my best not to kind of fall into that. And I know it's kind of a natural thing,
Uh-huh.
And, I like to think that I don't really get too much into that anyway. But, I mean, it's natural to kind of fall into that, Like, yeah, that mentality of like, oh, yeah, I know about this. Or this is real reggae. Or I know real reggae,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a lot of people that kind of fall into that, which,
Well, they fall into that shit with everything, though, dude.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I know there's a guy
even
out
hip
there,
hop. Yeah, like,
yeah. I know there's a guy out there right now going, I know everything about dry cleaners.
Yeah.
just try to ask me about dry cleaners, dog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I got a couple jackets. Yeah. See if you get this off. Man.
So yeah, dude, it's easy to get like prideful with just simple stuff like enjoying music, man.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. But that's my thing, man. And I try not to fall into that, and then I try, with the people around me, I try to influence them not to be like that too, because I feel like I have gotten into that bubble of like, when I was younger, like, oh, like this is real reggae, like, this is real Jamaican stuff, this is where reggae came from, or, I'm just using reggae as an example. Just
right.
I see a lot of it in reggae, but I mean, like you said, everywhere too, but I, I've totally been in that bubble, and I don't know. It just I kind of had to like, either someone did or I kind of slapped myself in the face a little and be like, hey man, like, gotta be open to all of it and like realize, that everything's influenced by everything. And I don't know. I just feel like I feel much better being, not in that bubble, being more open to a lot of music. Oh,
I'm trying to get too far. You can move the mic towards you if you want to lean back.
Nah, man, I'm getting comfortable. That's the thing,
You're good, dog.
But no, I feel like I have been in the past, like, influenced by people that were kind of in that mentality of like this is what the real music is. This is fake, or this is, overproduced or watered down or whatever, And I mean, to each their own, but I try to be open to I try to be more of like accepting to where I can drive people towards the real stuff, instead of pushing them away,
Yeah, it's always easier to track flies to honey than shit.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of my mentality is, if I see someone, like, for example, the friend I was talking about who didn't know much about, underground stuff, I would, instead of being snobby about it, I was open to like relating to him, what he likes, what he knows, and then kind of like, tracking him back, like, check this out, this came from this, or this kind of sounds like this kind of rhythm,
Right.
And it got him into like, digging deeper into older stuff too, and I don't know, it's always cool to learn, the roots of where music came from.
Yeah, a little seed of interest in something.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Is always more valuable than chopping down their tree of trust.
Yeah, no, for sure. I try to be like that, man. I try to be.
Well, you seem to be like that with everything you do. You seem to be like a very welcoming and warm person in general.
I try, I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people have told me I'm kind of like that. So
how are you with taking compliments? Do you like taking
them? Not really, man. I mean, I accept them. I came to, like the other day when you bought me a coffee, man, I'm like, a lot of times, like, I used to be like really pushing. No, I got this, but like when people are giving you something, it's because they, they most likely they mean it, So when people give me compliments now, I try to accept it a little bit, I don't let it get to my head or anything, but like, I try to think it comes from a genuine place,
Yeah, dude, I definitely struggled with that shit like my whole life. And then Hank, which is the older, he's like 83. I've had him on the podcast, and he's talking about accepting compliments. He goes, "Just say thank you." He told me, I was like, "What, dude?" He's like, "I need to know that no, I'm wrong. I fucked up here and here and here." And they're like, "Just shut the fuck up and say thank you."
You know what? Yeah, I feel that a lot, man. I feel like I'm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm hard on myself a lot, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I mean,
what do you think
after shows and all that, people come up to you and they really, a lot of the times they specify what they liked about what you did, and I just think that comes from a genuine place, and I try to accept it and be thankful about it, and yeah, man.
Where do you think the difficulty accepting compliments comes from? where the uncomfortability comes from?
I don't know. Probably just from seeing other, like in terms, let's say music, because I can relate this to music, just in terms of seeing other musicians, and them doing, so a lot of times, if they're doing better or something like that,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like, like what I did was whack, kind of, like.
Yeah, and they're also thinking the same thing when they see somebody above them, right?
Yeah.
It's big fish mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, but and I'm not in the terms of me trying to be like, better than anyone. Not like that, but just trying to like, you know, just practice your craft, and learn new things and try to do things. I don't know. You're always trying to grow, I think everyone's always trying to grow.
Yeah.
And it's just not about being better than another person, but just kind of just as you're growing, learning new things.
So, with the having a hard time, dude, I feel like sometimes it comes from like childhood shit. Like for me, I think it definitely came from like growing up and then getting told sometimes it wasn't good enough for this, wasn't good enough for that, and all that shit. And for me, anyways, that was kind of fucking. I feel like that's where it came from, and working on overcoming that shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know those terms.
Your parents weren't like that?
I grew up kind of sheltered, man. I like to think, I grew up a little sheltered and a little, how can I say? I don't know. I just feel like my parents were, I love my parents, and I feel like they were a little overprotective,
Mm-hmm.
So where we didn't kind of, I kind of saw and learned stuff as I got older, and
Protective, how like the whole once you get home from school you can't leave the house kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Not they weren't strict or anything like that. Like it wasn't like a crazy like, upbringing or nothing like that. But yeah, they were kind of really overprotective. They wanted us home. They didn't want us around certain, people or. So like they kind of just, we grew up going to church a lot.
Mm.
So it was kind of.
Oh, that's right. You said you grew up fairly religious.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think all that came from like my parents just trying to raise us the best they could. Like I know my mom now. Like even then, she wasn't too fond about religion. Like she is religious. She believes in but she has her beliefs and stuff. But like, I think that going to church was more of like her trying to push us to like good influenced things,
Right.
But like a lot of the stuff, like she didn't really agree with the churches and stuff. So we kind of grew up going to church by them kind of influenced, they wanted us to be influenced by something good. But then like later on, when as they were kind of disagreeing with a lot of the church stuff, they kind of started pulling away. I don't know. Am I answering all right?
Yeah. No. Are you still connected with
derailing?
Are you still connected with like the religious aspect of your childhood?
The religious aspect, I would say for the most part, no. Like, yeah, I'm not religious at all. I would say right now, I'm not religious at all. But I do try to keep like a positive mentality on things, Yeah. Like I was never like a rebel or never rebelled or did anything crazy. Like, like I never, another thing that people know me as is like I never drink or smoke, never done anything like that,
And you're a vegan.
And yeah, that too, man. Damn, the ultimate, man.
Pure,
the ultimate teetotaler, man, pure. Yeah, but no, it's just, that came from just like growing up that it wasn't good for you, I guess, like, from influence from church and stuff, but I don't know, I just kind of, I never got into it, even in high school, like, what do you call it, like, all that, like, influence and stuff.
Peer
like,
pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure never got to me. I was always my own person, man, and I was kind of marched by the beat of my own drum, man. And, yeah, I never got into it until now, it's just something I never did, I never drank, never smoked, and I still don't. And people know me as that. And I'm not saying I never will or anything, you know, like you never know what happens, but you know, that's just one example I would say that like is probably one of the good influences from church, you know, that I took.
Yeah, that's a great
Is
one.
like just being, you know, a good person and although you know, I feel like not everyone in church is like that, you know. I feel like there's a lot of, you know, and with every church, I'm not saying like the church I grew up or nothing like that, but you know, I feel like, I mean, all around there's a lot of, you know, like contradictories and you know, for like a better word, like hypocrisy and stuff, you know. Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of that in church too. And yeah, but I never did take, you know, I just try to take the good in things, you know.
Yeah, dude. That's so you never. So when you say you don't drink, you never drank.
No, I mean, maybe when I was like a kid, you know.
Right. But like, not as a conscious adult.
Yeah. Maybe like as a kid, what I'm saying is like, you know, my parents used to have parties when I was like little, you know. And I probably like took a sip of like a beer and like spit it out or something, you know.
Alcohol's a weird relationship, man.
Yeah, Yeah, man. I hear.
Yeah, dude. I remember like being a kid and going at those parties. My dad was always like the ride or die guy, so he's always like one of the last guys there. Yeah. And then everybody, my mom would be asleep with my sister, and I'd be like hanging out with my dad. It's like 2 a.m. and I'd be running around with some of the other kids, and there'd be like beer cans everywhere. Yeah. And then I used to just drink whatever was left on all the beer cans. It could be like cigarettes in there, like chewing tobacco. And I would just fucking just like, yeah, I'm gonna get drunk. Yeah. I was like 6 or 7, and I'd get all fucked up. Yeah. And then I would pass out, and nobody noticed because I was asleep. Yeah.
Now I've gotten like taste of beer and stuff when I was little, but like obviously it was nasty. You know, yeah. I was like, I didn't like it or anything. But I don't know. I do drink kombucha. I don't know if that counts.
That counts.
That counts. Oh man, broke edge.
Broke edge.
That's all right, man. I loves me some kombucha, man.
Kombucha, dog.
But yeah, I dabble with kombucha for sure.
Kombucha gets you feeling a certain kind of way sometimes.
Does it?
Sure. I don't know. Maybe.
It's bomb, man.
Maybe I'm just more receptive, like the placebo effect after I drink it. Yeah. I'm just waiting to get fucked up.
Yeah, excellent, man. No, but I mean, I dig some kombucha, man. I dig some kimchi. I mean, that's fermented. That has a little bit of that natural alcohol, right?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to be cool, but I'm sorry, I'm not that cool.
Nah, dog. Doing drugs and fucked up doesn't make you cool.
Yeah. Man. But yeah, by all means, I'm not saying that stuff's bad either. You know, like that's just something I kind of never. That's a common misconception too. You know, people kind of think like, oh, because I don't do it, I'm judgy about it, or I'm super far from that, man. I grew up like in the bar life, you know, playing drums, playing in bars, man. Even before I was 18, you know, I was playing inside bars, and I was grew up around that, like as far as when I was playing drums, you know, like playing music. So it was never like I was never judgy about it. I'm never, you know. But that's a common misconception, man. Just because people think I don't do it, you know, they think like, oh, I can't do it around him, or you know,
or I'm judgy. People like that.
Well, I mean, not too much these days, simply because I'm not, you know.
You don't hang around them.
Yeah, I don't hang around as often as I used to, but like, I feel like back then when maybe that comes from like people getting a little bit of guilt too, you know, like.
Yeah, they don't like when they were drink.
Yeah, they don't like day drinking, or they don't like, you know, just getting super trash or something, and like they look at me and they feel all guilty about like what they're doing or something, and it's like I'm not even thinking any of that, you know.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, dude. People don't. If you're not drinking, nobody, zero people genuinely are like upset that you're not drinking.
Yeah,
it's always the people that are just like they're caught in the cycle, dude. They hate that they drink, but they can't stop. And they get they're just a little jealous, dog. Yeah. And so they're reflecting that self-reflecting shit. They're just like, oh, he probably thinks this. But really, it's he probably thinks that I think I should probably be fixing myself. But I genuinely think that way about myself anyways.
Nah, it's Not even, man.
Some
It's
people
like,
fucking suck, dog.
yeah, no, it's like everyone has their different issues, man. You know, like I have my issues, you know, that aren't anything close to drinking or anything like that, you know. But I mean, everyone has their thing, and everyone has their own issues or problems they can work on. And I feel everyone's different, man. And it doesn't always have to be a drinking problem. It doesn't always have to be like, you know, anything like that. Like it can be, you know, different kinds of addiction, man.
Dude, I'll tell you right now. So I quit drinking about a month ago, and it went from me drinking all the time to me eating like fucking gnarly food, bro. Like I wouldn't normally eat. Like the other day, I ate a whole fucking pizza by myself.
That sounds bomb, man.
That was so bomb. But it wasn't even like a Friday by myself watching a movie. It was like a Tuesday at lunch. I'm just like, I gotta go back to work, and I'm gonna eat a whole pizza. It's just like, oof.
I mean, yeah, that's one of my, you know, challenges, man. Is eating. I love eating, man. You know, I love. You know, when I go out with friends, first thing I think is like, oh, let's go find a bomb spot to eat. You know,
then after that, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah, when we travel, you know, like when we're with bands or when we're in Virginia or, you know, like Vegas, you know, last weekend, you know, it's like I'm all thinking, you know, and talking about all the places we're going to eat and all the spots we're going to hit up. And New Orleans, we're going to New Orleans next weekend, man. And I'm already thinking like, you know, what are we going to eat, you know?
I'm already thinking about what you're going to eat. Like.
But
heck yeah, dude.
That's one of the reasons too. I kind of started eating vegan is to swing into that. Because I mean, I figured I don't know if you were gonna ask or like, you know, a lot of people like to ask me about, you know, the whole.
You brought it up, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm bringing it up, man. The whole vegan thing, man. A lot of people ask me, and especially because I'm, you know, gordito. Like,
yeah,
they trip out like, what, you eat vegan? What? I'm like, yeah, and
it's like, yeah, food donuts are vegan, dog.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I started that simply because, you know, I wanted to lose weight, man. I was really heavy, like in high school, and then after that, and I kind of got a little scared myself. You know, I scared myself a little bit, and yeah, I made up this little excuse of like just because I was embarrassed of saying, you know, like I need to lose weight somehow, you know. Because I was always kind of prideful about being a big guy. You know, I've always been a big guy, and it never really like, you know, I was never like one to like try to lose weight or be like, oh man, I wish I was smaller or anything like that. Like people always knew me as like the big guy and like just kind of prideful that I was big, you know. But in reality, you know, like, you know, I was getting bigger and bigger, and I was just I kind of scared of myself, and I had to figure out a way of like, I don't know, making a change for myself without, you know, saying that I'm trying to lose weight. So I made up this whole dumb story, and
oh yeah,
yeah. But really, I started
you still
eating.
Memorized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my family still thinks it. You know, it's was it my grandma had a, you know, we had a party for my grandma, and they slaughtered a pig.
Oh,
yeah,
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I mean that really happened, you know. But after that was when I was like, oh, I'm not gonna eat that. I can't. I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't sit well with me. So like, I was like, after that, I was like, oh, I don't think I can eat meat anymore. Like, you know.
Yeah, and you're too afraid to say that it was just, hey, dude, I think I'm too fat.
Yeah, no, that's what it was, man. I was just getting bigger, and you know, I didn't know what. Yeah, but yeah, I was afraid of saying that, and afraid of people thinking that, and yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know a lot of vegans trip out, you know, because I don't really do it, you know, for the animal rights stuff, you know. Like, yeah, I just did it kind of just for myself, man. I had to make a change, and it happened cold turkey, man. I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating dairy products, and I was sticking with salads, man, and fresh fruit, and I lost a bunch of weight, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were down. You said you were down 100 pounds.
Yeah, I was down about 100 pounds, man. It wasn't exactly 100 pounds, but it was close to that. Yeah, it was like 80-ish or something. Yeah. But I was 3+, man, and
you were 3+.
Yeah.
What was your heaviest? Did you know what your heaviest?
My heaviest is right now, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was about Yeah, I want to say about 310 or something,
310. You told me you're like, I lost 100 pounds. Like, whoa, dude,
Yeah,
that's
no,
impressive.
I did,
And you're like,
man.
hold on.
Yeah, I get it back. I get it back, y'all.
Dog. I did a full 360.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, yeah, man, it's like, I lost a lot of weight. But back then, when I went vegan, they didn't have Impossible Burgers. They didn't have, like, Beyond Burgers. They didn't have...
It was pure.
Yeah, they didn't have all these, like, vegan, options or vegan burgers and quote unquote junk food, like I started discovering, Oreos are vegan, Nutter Butters, like all these foods, all these chips, like we just had the Funyun chips, man, the Funyun Lays.
Yeah, those are fire,
bomb,
dude.
man. And those are vegan and stuff like that. You start discovering like vegan junk foods, and
right.
I got into all that, man. The fried foods, and that's what brought me back up, man.
It's like bread's Wait, no, bread's not vegan, right? No.
Depends. I don't know. It's yeah, it gets difficult, man, when you try to be like really particular about it. You know? Which much respect to the people who like really stick to that. But it's really tough, man. Like I'll eat stuff with honey sometimes. Like I'm not anti that or anything like that. So but there's really people that are really like strict about it, which is cool. Like on them. Like.
So it's been 15 years?
Yeah.
Since you had a steak?
Since I had a steak, man. Probably longer than that.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Get close to the mic.
You're good. You're good, Doug.
Since I've had a good steak, yeah.
Ooh. You can always get back and then move the mic closer to you.
Since I've had bacon.
Bacon? Yeah, bacon's a little overrated.
Is it? I don't know, man.
It's cool. Bacon's delicious, but like...
Is it the smell then? Is it the smell?
It's the smell.
Okay, is it the smell of bacon? Because like every time I smell bacon, I'm like, vegans are gonna hate me for saying this, but it just smells bomb, man. And I tell my wife, and my wife's like, "You're the worst vegan." And I'm like, I don't even say like I'm vegan. A lot of times, like when either people say it, people tell people I'm vegan, or like. People find out like I eat vegan, and like but I don't really claim like veganism, or I don't say like I'm vegan or anything like that,
Right, but you're still not eating the bacon, right?
Oh no, I don't eat the bacon.
That's vegan, bro. Yeah, dude.
I just think it smells bomb, and I wish, man. You wish
you had a lapse in judgment, real quick.
Yeah.
So discipline, dude. You're a disciplined kind of guy for the most part, right? Dude, I'm bad with discipline.
I don't know,
dude.
man. At this point, it's like I've eaten this way so long that I'm used to it. People ask, "Oh, Tim, don't you want aren't you tempted to just eat?" And I'm like, nah, I'm so far from like tempted to eat like bacon or whatever. Like, but I mean, it still smells, like you're driving by an In-N-Out, like you still smell that In-N-Out, and you're like, oh snap, that smells bomb.
Yeah, people don't really do that for vegan food. They're like. Is that an Impossible Burger? Nobody's doing that.
You'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of restaurants out there that I'm a big fan of, like restaurants that make everything their own.
Yeah,
they make their own patties, they make their own cheese. And like
about that shit.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of restaurants that they make their own stuff, and it's just bomb. It's tasteful. It doesn't, It doesn't have to be like dairy or meat or anything. Like it's just pure, from plants. And they make it bomb, man.
Bomb.com, dude.
Yeah. People get tripped out on the word vegan a lot too, man. They're like they think it's like plastic or something. It's like, nah, man, it's all just from plants,
It's got a fucking stigma nowadays, dude.
Well, yeah, nowadays I will say that, things got, like I said, a lot of the stuff is kind of processed now.
Yeah.
Like it kind of fell into that, the whole like Beyond Burgers, Impossible, all that stuff that's easy access, is. But back then, a lot of, I feel like a lot of this was way more natural, Bean burgers, they make it out of beans, or like cheese, out of cashews, and it was bomb, man. It's
people getting more creative. And dude, I've had vegan food, and I think vegan food's delicious for the most part.
Yeah, man.
But it's like hummus is vegan.
Hummus is bomb.
Hummus, dude, I eat hummus on everything, dog.
Hey, you should. Yeah. This is kind of out of context, but like, it was funny. Like, my wife just showed me like a week ago. The first message I sent her, like on Facebook Messenger, like was hummus. Like,
just the word hummus.
Well, hummus like a bunch of times. That hummus. I'm dumb, man.
You know how to seduce a lady, dog.
But I don't know. I guess that did it. I don't know.
That's the way to do it, man. Just dangle some food in front of them. They fall all the time for it, man.
I guess it just shows, man. If it, you don't, just keep things more natural.
Yeah.
I don't want to say don't try too hard. It's good to work on stuff. But a lot of stuff. When like I don't know. So you gotta keep natural, man. You gotta kind of just the words of Gilbert LaRoque, trust the process a little bit. Trust the process.
Righteous. So the way things worked out with you and your wife, was it the Facebook message? Is that how you caught her attention?
Yeah.
You just like
it was all a plan. I knew it. Hummus.
You told me a little bit, right? She was a band member's sister, right? A former band member's sister.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I've known her since junior high. We went to the same junior high.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We went to the same junior high, but we really didn't know each other back then. I knew who she was. She might have known me a little bit. I mean, she knew my brother because my brother they were the same. They were closer in age. But yeah, it wasn't until later. I had a gig, and her little brother was starting to play music. He's younger than us, and his band opened for our band, and so she was there to support him. And I saw her, and I was like, she looks familiar. And then like my brother was the same thing. He was like, yeah, she looks familiar. Then I just started talking. I was like, hey, where do I know you from? And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we discovered it that night or later that yeah, we just went to the same junior high. But aside from that, I mean, I think we just hit it off. And then her little brother's band, was playing a lot of shows with us in the same bill, So like she was coming out at all the gigs, so like we'd say hi, we'd talk, we just always hit it off, and I think that's what happened. I messaged her, hummus multiple times.
Hummus.
And she was down to have some hummus, and she made some hummus, and it was bomb. And yeah, we started hanging out. A lot more.
Just trusting the process.
Us, yeah. Not really, we weren't trying to like, do anything crazy, nothing. We're just hanging out, and yeah, man.
You guys have been together a while now, right? How long have you been together now?
This year's 10 years, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So 10 years, and yeah, I love my wife. Shout out to her. She's a great person.
Shout out to Chris's wife.
Yeah, she has a great heart, and she works hard, man, and she really tries to push herself, in being better.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're kind of opposite in that sense. I'm a little more relaxed, and I try to relax her a little more, and but yeah, I mean, she's a great person, man. She's a great person. But she's always out to help people, and I think sometimes that troubles her a little bit,
Yeah.
Because she helps a little too much sometimes, where, I feel like she's kind of, I don't know,
leaves her heart a little open too wide.
Yeah. And then she ends up getting hurt a little bit, or she ends up getting like a little disappointed when she feels it's not coming in return when she needs help or something like that.
Yeah.
Not to get too deep into that, but I love my wife, and she's doing great. And
is that something you experienced with yourself? Is the whole kind of being too open?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people who are, that have more of like an open heart, I mean, people are different. Some people just, they're really overprotective, and they don't have an open heart simply because, they feel like there are people that are malicious out there, and which is true, And it sucks sometimes, you know. Like, you try to be a good person, then something happens to you, or someone comes out in a malicious way towards you, and you're like, you know,
Why?
yeah, it's just weird. But
Yeah, tear me to pieces, break my heart.
yeah, I mean, that happens, man, and I've learned to cope with it, man, and you know, it's just one of those things, man. You just, I don't
Be
know.
positive. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just trying to be positive, man. It's really, I don't know, really helps you out, man. It really, you don't, I don't know how to say it, man, but
You good, Doug? Words are
I'm
hard.
starting to think too much, you know, but
In general, or just in this conversation?
oh, both, man. My mind runs all the time, man.
Yeah, dude, you're one of the sentient ones, Doug.
Yeah, getting lost in my thoughts, but
Yeah, you good, man. No, yeah, it's
I was kind of forgetting this is like an interview, man. Like I was just chatting it up.
you're good, Doug. That's how it's supposed to feel, right?
Yeah.
These things are actually quite nice. I really enjoy doing them because it's my favorite part of it is it helps to have a conversation and think about what you're saying and kind of enjoying, really get to know a person while you're talking to them, let them talk and stuff.
For sure, man. I just try to stay a little positive and you know, one of my bigger things is I just try to kind of accept, you know, that a lot of things, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen. And I'm always kind of on that edge of thinking like, you know, we got to learn to cope with the things that happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's good or I don't know if it's bad, but so far for me, like it kind of works out, you know, because a lot of the times I'm not really necessarily disappointed. You know, if something happens, it's like I try to think like, man, this was an option for it to happen. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough, man. You can't be too excited sometimes, you know, and then you can't be too much of a downer either. You know.
Yeah, you got to find that middle ground. I think it's like one of those things that you meet someone you meet older people and they hone that in more.
Yeah.
Man. And you meet younger people and they're still fucking trying to figure it out.
Stay positive, you know, look at the good outlook of things, you know, but at the same time be mindful like, you know, that might not happen. If someone tells you something, someone offers you something sick, you know, like don't be too excited about it, you know.
Yeah, because
like
you beat yourself up when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, when it doesn't happen. And I think that's happened a lot with me, and I think that's kind of where I stand, you know, in this position where, you know, people will say like, hey man, like let's do this or I got this for you or you know, or even simple things as like traveling, you know, like, hey man, like, you know, we want to bring you in your whole band, you know, UK tour or whatever, you know, like, you know, stuff like that where I'm like, I accept it and I'm like, all right, sick, that'd be cool, you know, but like, you know, when I was younger years ago, I'd have been all stoked about it, all pumped, and then like, you know, for example, it doesn't happen, and you know, I'd be super bummed, you know.
Yeah, you'd be in a depressive state.
Yeah.
I fucking would. Yeah.
So like, I just try to kind of accept things as it goes. Like, you know, I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, let's make it happen. If it happens, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
Then once it's happening, you know, then I get all stoked, you know. I'm all in, you know. But like a lot of times, you know, I just kind of, you know, pace my steps. You know.
Right on, man. Right on.
Sick.
So
try not to bore people too much, you know.
So one of the questions I do ask on the podcast, and it's influenced by one of the reasons why I wanted to start it. I was dating this girl, and she'll show me audio of her conversation she had with her dad when she was younger, and her dad had passed away a couple years ago, and I think it's important, and this might be an opportunity to say something that you'd like to say, like to be heard by the people you love. That, God forbid, knock on wood, something were to happen to you. This is a place where it could be. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to share?
I don't know, man. I mean, in terms of, you know, I don't know, man. I just try to stay positive, and you know, there's a lot of like I said earlier, you know, everyone kind of has their problems. I have my issues right now, like family issues, certain people not getting along, and a lot of times, kids are involved in all that too, and that's hard, and and it's really it's a hard position for me, man, because I feel like, when two people are at each other's throats, I'm in the middle. I love both of them, and it's really, it really is a hard place to, like, it's hard to take the next step and realize, like, man, like, I don't know. What I'm getting is I pretty much, I love all my family, I love my parents to death, and, I love my siblings. I love, and, I don't even know where I'm getting with this, man, but
You're good.
Yeah.
Just a little passing message,
Yeah, a little passing message where it's I'm trying to be patient with a lot of the, challenges that are happening right now, family issues and all that. But I'm trying to be,
Everything good?
Yeah. I mean, this is a little more private, which I probably shouldn't even say that. But yeah, but for sure, it's like
it'll get better.
Yeah, I'm hoping things will get better. I'm trying to move, step by step and trying to be patient with a lot of things. And I really just want things to kind of fall into place, eventually. And
like you said, stay positive.
Yeah, but it's a hard place for me a lot of times. And a lot of, I don't know. Yeah, the end, I guess. I'm trying not to get deep into that, man.
Right on to the end, dude. That's the perfect way to end this something,
Yeah, shout out to all the people I talked about, man.
Shout
and
out.
And I feel like if you're listening, I don't know how many listeners, but
not much.
It don't matter.
It's just me and my mom.
It's just us, man. It's just you and I, man. We're just chanting it up. It don't matter. But yeah, shout out to all the peeps that I gave shout outs to, man.
Yeah, hopefully maybe one day this will reach 3 years.
Yeah,
and I do appreciate you coming on here, man.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me. And
something different.
Yeah, I keep stepping away from the mic, man. But
good.
I think it's catching everything I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, your mics, you got the newer mic, so it picks up the audio fairly well. This one's a little bit older. I've had this one for about 6 years. Back in my rapping days, dog.
Sick. I gotta hear some of that.
No, dude, it's all deleted, bro.
Yeah, dang. It's funny. I mean, this is a whole nother story, but I actually write a lot of music, like, for myself. And it's I never put it out, man. I never put it out. And I was just talking to, like, one of my friends about this, like, I write a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is, like, surprisingly, it's like pop punk stuff,
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's like pop punk, but I just kind of write it for myself, man. I don't put it out. I don't show anyone, and a lot of times, man, I trash it, man. With 2 weeks, I'll write some, I'll be stoked about it for 2 weeks, and then I just trash it, man. And I don't ever play it, don't ever listen to it again.
That's a good way to look at it, right?
It's weird, huh?
You're sharpening your skills either way.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
I feel that way about painting because I'll, like, paint like this and I'll have it up here. And it's just in my office while I do stuff. And the next week I'll paint over this.
Yeah, sick.
Heck
yeah.
And people sometimes people get upset. They're like, "Why are you painting over it?" It's like, the canvas to me is more valuable than the painting because the canvas is $35 for something this big. So I'll paint over it and I get to reuse this canvas 13 to 14 times.
That's like when I was like, like in high school, I've always doodled, but I used to doodle all the time, on all my papers, like stories that happened within my friends and everything. Like I used to, like, draw scenarios, little cartoons, little comics, and, like, just throw them out and I'd throw them away or something, and people would get so burnt. And they were like, there's people that message me still all the time, like, "Hey man, I still have that drawing you did," or "I still have that cartoon," and, like,
oh yeah.
But people get burnt because, like, it's just a doodle, and then I throw it away, and, like, people feel like there's so much more value to that, and it's like,
it's just
I just don't feel it. Yeah,
the value's in here because I was able to do it.
Or my mom has this huge box of, like, just stuff that I've drawn, and, like, she seriously gets legit mad, like, when I draw, like, on a napkin and then just, like, throw it, in the trash bin and gets all wet, and, like, she gets so burnt because, like, she likes keeping everything I draw. It's weird.
Dude, trip out. I was working at the garlic company over there off the 99.
Yeah.
And it was so slow, and it was like they had like the receipts, the ticket receipts, and it was blank. And then the other guys were like doodling with the Sharpie, and I grabbed it and I doodled the skull real quick with just the shadows, just the negatives from the skull. And I go, check it out. And then I crumpled up and I threw it away.
Yeah.
And the guy that was there, as I was walking away, I noticed he went in the trash can. He took it out of the trash can. He looked at it, folded it, and put it in his pocket. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's weird. I thought it was just like a doodle, but he liked it so much.
Yeah.
And he thought that because I did it in like a second and a half, he liked it. I was just like,
yeah, it's weird, man. It's always been like that. Like, I don't know.
I like
weird.
drawing, dude. I fucking love painting.
It's not even like I don't even like, you know. It's kind of weird. It's something that I always tell people I don't really like it. It's just something I've always done, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I do one of my businesses is, you know, I do characters for events, for private events.
Mm.
So for weddings, quinceañeras, all that. I have a character business, and I go out there and I draw characters, put in a bag. They take it home, you know, they frame it, and it's, you know, like the characters you see at Magic Mountain or Disneyland, like those kind of just funny cartoons.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I think I got one like right here or something.
Oh, sick. Yeah, so I do that. And every time they ask me, either they ask me if I love it or they kind of just assume already. They're like, well, that's great that you get to do something you love, you know, something you like to do. And a lot of the times I either say it or like I just think in my head, like, it's not necessarily something I like, you know, like I don't really enjoy it. It's not something that you know, I don't think I'd be doing it if you know.
You should hit him with the I fucking hate this.
and it's not even that either, you know, like I don't even.
I know you don't feel that way. Just like
it's just easy. It's something I've always done.
Just to give him a story and be like, oh, do you love drawing? You're like, fuck no, I hate this shit.
No, but a lot of times I do tell them like, where they're like, do you enjoy it? And I'm like, not really. Like I don't really enjoy it. Like, you know, I'm just being honest. You know, it's like I don't hate it or I don't despise it or like, you know, it's not a drag either. You know,
right? Because they're expecting one answer, which is yes, I love it. It's my passion.
Yeah,
I fucking gave up drugs and I love this and I don't eat meat and I love drawing. But you're just like, nah, dude, I fucking hate this shit.
Yeah, but it's just a gig, man. For me, like it's more, you know. I mean, I'm super thankful that I get to do it, you know, because it's not, you know, I'm not breaking my back doing it at all. It's, you know, but I also try not to like lower the value in that either, you know, like it's people, that's one of the hard things that I've learned to do is like accept my value too, you know, like people have told me, you know, that stuff's worth, you know, a lot more to a lot of people and you know, learning to, I hate even talking about this, but like, you know, like learning to monetize, you know, a little bit of that too, you know, it's like,
it's weird.
Yeah.
I've had friends of mine, I'll have like a party at the house and then they'll leave their purses in here and I got my paintings in here. Now I've had like stacks of paintings, like 50 paintings that I've painted, and they'll fish through it because they're being nosy. And they'll go, hey man, how much you want for this one? I was like, what? Because I don't paint scenes and shit. I just paint shit that's in my head. Yeah. And they goes, how much for this one? And I was like, I can't. What? He goes, hey man, I'll give you like $100 for this one. And it's just like a little painting. I was like, get the $100, dude. Just take it, bro. Just go home already. Just take it and go home. Get the fuck out of here. $100. And they're like, how much? And then always that question, how much you charge me for this?
Yeah. You know, that's something that I've learned to. That's one of the hardest parts, man, about art. And, you know, who was I talking to this about? I was talking to one of my friends, you know, like, just because I've been in this business for so long, you know, it's just one of the art and even music, you know, any types of art is the hardest thing to put a value to it, you know. It's because so many people think it's worth a certain thing, you know. Some people think that painting you're talking about is $100. Some people would think that would be worth $10, you know. Yeah. Some people would think it's like way more. Like, you just can't really put like, you got to learn to like value yourself and figure out how much time or what you know, what you think it's worth, what you feel has been worth, you know. Anyways, that's something I'm still learning, but you know, because I do artwork as a job, you know, I've kind of had to learn to put value to things. And the hardest part is sticking to it, man, and just being like, you know what, this is what it is. This is what it costs, you know.
Oh, dude, that's hard. That sounds so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable, man. You know what though? Like with I mean, like I don't know. I don't think many people will be listening to this. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But like I try to like with friends and stuff, you know, like most of the time I don't even charge them, man. I just, but it goes both ways, you know, because they're my friends. They're supporting me, and they're you know, it comes back in a different way, you know. But like with friends, you know, I try my best, you know, like I don't charge or anything like that. You know? Especially with a lot of my friends. I've been doing a lot of artwork for like album artwork, you know, for records, and a lot of these people I'm doing work for are friends of mine that started these record labels. And so it kind of goes both ways, you know. They ask me how much I charge, that whole thing, and they're super like tight homies, so like I don't put a number to it. We always kind of just work together, and it's like, let me create something for you. We'll create something we both like. We'll build it up, and then we'll sell the records, and then we'll kind of just, you know, we'll take it from that, yeah. And it's so far, man, it's worked out better than, you know, than if I would just put a number to it.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So shout out to those homies.
Shout out to the homies, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it's even like, it's also, I've gotten like this thing in my head where
Blackbird Records, yeah.
Huh?
No, I was giving a shout out Blackbird Records. Man.
Blackbird Records.
That's one of the bigger ones that I do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Album cover for.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff for my homie in Blackbird. So I mean, there's different ones, you know.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's gotta be an interesting thing to do. Or do you fucking hate it too?
I hate it, brother. I hate it.
Fucking hate it, dog.
Sometimes, what can I say, man? It's hard, man, because like sometimes I get so much work, man, and you know it's hard to kind of produce, you know. Yeah. Because all this stuff is custom, you know. It's hard to produce custom stuff from your head, you know. It's not like it's a template and you're just, you know, changing the name, you know, like nah, you're just starting from scratch.
You're being original every fucking time.
Yeah. So sometimes it takes me months, man, like to really do something I'm satisfied with. And sometimes, you know, I'll just do it overnight. Like something will just hit me and click, and I'll do it overnight, man. 3 a.m., man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull an all-nighter, and then
once that muse hits you, dog.
But yeah,
divine shit.
But I've been working in sign shops for a long time, also. So that's kind of taught me to kind of learn at a fast pace and kind of just work with time, you know, time management and all that, which I still have trouble with. But you know, but time management, that's kind of, you know, thankful for the sign shops where I had to kind of pump out work, and it is what it is, kind of thing, you know.
So the sign management stuff, the sign stuff, that probably helped you with like spacing and like contrast and shit.
Yeah, that helped me too. I learned a lot. Basics. From that. Yeah, keeping things simple too. You know, like, you know, sometimes the more simple stuff is clean. You know? Especially signage is different. You know, I feel like signage and then album art, of course, it's so different. You know. Yeah. With signage, you want to keep it, you know, for the most part, as simple as possible, you know, but still clean and still, you know, you want people to read it at first glance, you know, whatever you're advertising. You want people to know what that is. Mm-hmm. You know, if there's a van, you know, and, you know, there's a vehicle wrap on it, you know, most of the times, you know, like you're driving by and it's just a quick second and it's gone, you know, so you want to know exactly what that was. So.
Right on, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We've done an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
An hour and a half.
Dang, trim it off, man.
Trim it off, dog.
Trim it off.
Whittle it down to 15 minutes.
15 minutes, man. Sick. But yeah.
Felt natural, right?
Yeah, it felt natural, man. I feel like maybe I was, you know, babbling on a little too much.
Oh, don't be hard on yourself.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of times, you know, I just start talking. And
well, this is
my mind's spinning while my my mouth's just running.
Well, this is definitely the platform for it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, shout out to everyone I mentioned.
Shout out to Blackbear's Diner.
Blackbird Diner, Black Bear. Oh yeah, no. Shout out to that's one of the major things I'm doing right now. Shout out to Blackbird Records for sure. My homie Eric. He's doing a lot of cool things right now. And he's he's just working with a lot of upcoming artists. Jackie Mendez, he's working. They're working together. Well, we're all working. We're all in the same circle. But shout out to her. She's doing a lot. She's writing a lot of music. She's put out music videos right now. She's putting out
Jackie Mendez. Check out Jackie Mendez.
45. So we're staying pretty active with that. Plus playing shows. We got a bunch of upcoming shows, and that's been keeping me going too. And it's cool because that's more of like I just kind of show up and kind of just play, and I participate for sure. But that's more of my like relaxed gig. Where I just have to like kind of show up. Where a lot of the other bands, like I'm kind of in charge of, and I'm leading.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's kind of, I like to think of that as like a more relaxed, gig and
take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy, man. So
you got anything come up that you want to plug? Maybe anything coming up you want to plug?
For
concerts in town.
I think with Jackie, man. I think I have mainly with Jackie. I just have some upcoming gigs. We're playing on the 23rd, October 23rd, I believe, at Alex's Bar in Long Beach with Trish Toledo. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's a big name in like the soul scene right now. And so we're doing back-to-back shows that day. We're doing like a early matinee show, and then later on they added a second show because it got sold out. And I think they're still available. Either tickets are still available to at least one of them, or maybe they're both sold out. I don't know, but yeah, we got a couple shows. Just follow her, and then as far as like with the Capsuls, we're writing a lot of music right now. We've been getting hit up a lot, and it's been weird because we're not one to be like turning down shows, and it's been a challenge for me, man, because. I love to play too, but we're really just trying to kind of focus on just writing music right now and relaxing. Right? Yeah, not trying to rush it either. We're not like pumping out, but just kind of moving at our own pace, writing music. Like you said, taking it easy, man.
Taking it easy.
I like that. But yeah, man. I mean, just writing music. So eventually we'll get that going. So shout out to all my homies in the Capsules, man. Like. Super cool guys, all of them. They're really cool to work with. They're fun to travel with. My wife's the lead singer. She sings the band, so it's always fun traveling, with my wife and going places. We just played punk rock bowling in Vegas, and that was a big show. So
yeah, you guys are talking about it.
I'm still kind of stoked on that, but shout out to them, man. Since some of my closest friends, man, in that band, and I'm super thankful I get to share music with them and create music and get to travel, and we get good eats, and it's just that's a fun gig, man. The Capsules are fun guys, man.
Hey, do you love it?
But yeah, that I love, man.
I hate it.
I actually do hate those guys. They're a pain to work with, man.
Everybody's a pain to work with,
man. But yeah, man, different personalities, man. But
for sure.
I mean, I guess that's life, man. Like everyone's different, man, and
everybody's cool in their own way.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, and I think our recent, not to get into that, but just our recent, current events have shown, man, everyone's different. Everyone has strong opinions. Everyone's,
some people suck.
Yes, a lot of people suck. But it's hard, man, because we're all in this pot that need to learn how to one way or another make it work, man.
Right on, brother.
And but yeah, shout out to my homies in the Capsules, man. Also, am I going too long, man? I feel, man, where are we at 2 hours? No, shout out with my homie Mr. Kingpin too, man. He's the guy that I've been traveling with to Virginia and stuff, and we just released an album during quarantine with him. So it was just a studio album. We've never practiced, we've never played music together, nothing like that. He just kind of got a bunch of friends and musicians together, recorded a full album, and it's out now, Mr. Kingpin.
Mr. Kingpin?
Yeah, Mr. Kingpin. We put out the album, and then we got invited to play the Ska Fest in Virginia, so we did it, and it was super fun. First time we all played together, and we made it work. And
what's the album? Cool. The album called?
It's called Introducing Mr. Kingpin.
Introducing.
Yeah.
Where can it be found?
I think it's on Bandcamp. Follow Mr. Kingpin on Facebook and Instagram, and then from there you get the link to the Bandcamp. It's on there. Also, Jump Up Records. Jump Up Records is the record label who put it out. So shout out to Chuck and all the guys in Chicago involved with Jump Up Records. And I believe you could get it on there too. So, and then Chuck has a big collection, big catalog of ska and reggae albums.
Pulling samples.
Yeah, everything from Jamaican stuff to recent. It's just kind of all across the board. Everything kind of ska and reggae related, rocksteady.
I know.
Yeah. So Jump Records, shout out to them. Yeah, and then I also play in various other bands. I play in Rhythm Ambassadors too, which is local, and we're starting to work on writing some more tunes too, and that's more of OG ska outfit. Yeah. And then I can't go without saying shout out my old boys in Vanity Avenue, man.
Vanity Avenue,
man. That's the local band I've been playing with for a long time, and shout out to those homies.
That's a great name.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we still play, man. Every time that Vanity Avenue's been around for 20 years now. Yeah, something like that, and it's like
no shit.
Yeah, and it's like we just play locally. We don't. It's not a super serious band, nothing like that. Like we play a couple gigs a year. But I'm surprised, man. I've been in all these bands in and out throughout my life, and that band's been the one band that sticks around still.
That's cool.
We're all homies, we're all friends, and
you guys go
a gig will pop up, and it'll be like
yeah,
each other's bautizos and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're fucking your homeboy's godmother, kid's godparent, and shit. And Cunyao here, dog.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to those homies too.
Vanity Avenue, dog. That's cool, man.
But yeah, man. I love playing in all the bands I play in, man. It's yeah. I'm really thankful I get to play with these people, and I don't know. I'm just thankful for like I said, whatever happens, you never know. But I'm soaking it up as it is right now. Being involved with all these music projects and these record labels I'm working with, and yeah, I'm just I'm stoked, and I'm thankful, and I'm thankful to them for having me a part of it, and soaking it up as it lasts, and
soaking it up.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Whatever happens. It's man.
Well, I do appreciate you coming on, man. I unfortunately had to cut this a little short.
Oh, please, man, cut me off.
So, November 5th, 6th and 7th, I'll be at the Stars Playhouse at My Mañana Comes. Tickets are on sale at the Stars Playhouse website. And then we'll be at the next 3 weeks after that. So if anybody's listening wants to go check out the show, feel free to get some tickets there online beforehand and check it out. So I do appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Thanks cool, for having me. I hope it's all right, man. Where are we at? 2 hours now?
3 hour and 37 minutes. So.
Oh, man.
Trim it down. 5 minutes. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks everyone for listening to this, man. Right. And thank you for having me, man. And this has been cool for sure.
Yeah,
thanks for thinking of me. And yeah, man.
I'll definitely have you on again sometime.
Yeah, anytime, man. We'll talk some more.
So thank you.
Or you can split this in half and just do 2 episodes.
Yeah, right. It's just like in the middle of a sentence, dude, and 30 minutes in. So today is October 11th, 2021. This has been the I'm Not Emotional podcast. This is Javier signing off with Chris.
What's up?
How do you say your last name?
It's originally it's BORBON. So
Chris BORBON. Thank you, Chris BORBON. Thank you, and you guys have a good one. Bye.
Later.